Hey y'all, welcome to the Be Affirmation podcast where we talk about going beyond just stating affirmations and actually being what that affirmation represents. I'm your host, Ladette, and if you're listening, thanks for being here, and I'm just really excited. You're a real one. If you listened to last week's episode, that one was honestly so rough. Like, if you've been listening from the beginning, you know that I am currently living at my parents' house while recording this podcast, and there's 8 people who live here. And yeah, it's always noisy. It's really noisy, and although I'm like not a pro at editing, I've been trying my best. I've been trying to figure out like how to edit out background noise, and I feel like the podcast sounds pretty decent most of the time, like for me being new. But oh my god, last week's episode, I was like I couldn't figure it out, and I don't know, I'm at the point where season 1 is almost done, so I want to just continue what I have been doing. But I think for season 2, I definitely want to look into hiring someone who can like help me with editing, because yeah, girl is doing a lot. I'm doing a lot right now with opening my online store, with the podcast, and I think I need help, and that's okay. So if you're at a point in your life where you feel like you need to ask for help, please do that, because there is no reason to be over here struggling. Like, there really is no reason. So that's just an update for you all. I think season 2, I will be definitely sourcing for someone who's more versed in like this realm with like editing podcasts. So if y'all know anybody, please let me know. Reach out to me on Instagram. I would definitely love to like get someone's help with editing. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Season 1 it's not almost done. I had 14 episodes in mind, an episode for each affirmation, and today we're going to move on to the 7th affirmation. So we are kind of approaching, the last episode. I'm planning on taking a break when the last episode is done. I'll probably take like a month or 2 off and then start with season 2 in August. So just wanted to give everyone that heads up. And then also another heads up is that the Be Affirmation online store opens this Friday. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I've been working on this store all year, and I just can't wait for people to see these pieces, to wear these pieces. Like, you are absorbing that energy of whatever you're wearing. So whether it's the I am worthy necklace or I am deserving bracelet, just know that when you put it on, you are absorbing the energy of that affirmation, and you're carrying it with you all day and quite literally being that affirmation, which is why I chose that name for the podcast and why I chose that name for the brand. I just love it, and it really resonates with me. So I hope you guys all love the jewelry if you do make a purchase. And don't forget, I do have a code for you all that are listening from the podcast. It's podcast20, and that'll be live until the end of April. And then also just another ongoing code I'll always have is Ladette10. So it's my name followed by the number 10. So please don't ever pay full price for anything. You don't need to. Ladette10 is kind of just the code that I'm going to have ongoing so that, friends, family, anyone who knows me at any point can at least always get some type of discount and not have to wait, for like a holiday sale or a flash sale. So make sure you use that code as well whenever you're just browsing through the website. But I think that's all that I have, and we can jump into our episode for today. So we're going to start with our 12 affirmations as per usual. So get comfortable and we will begin. I am in love with the person I see in the mirror. I am in love with the person I see in the mirror. I am a masterpiece. I am a masterpiece. I am grateful for all of the ways my body shows up for me each day. I am grateful for all of the ways my body shows up for me each day. I appreciate the relationship I have with my body. I appreciate the relationship I have with my body. I am in tune with what my body communicates to me. I am in tune with what my body communicates to me. I love my body and embrace all of the changes it goes through. I love my body and embrace all of the changes it goes through. I adore my body. I adore my body. I trust my body. I trust my body. I take care of my body. I take care of my body. I respect my body. I respect my body. I would choose the body I'm in now time and time again. I would choose the body I'm in now time and time again. All right, let's get into it. So, our seventh affirmation states, I adore my body. And I just think that this is like one of the sweetest things you can say to yourself about yourself. I feel like this affirmation is just, it's just so nice. It's so sweet. Like, it's not something that you hear people say often. And it's probably like not one you've said to yourself. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Like, this is one that this is a new one for me that I literally just recently started saying with this podcast. And I just feel like when I think of affirmations or when I've heard positive self talk, like in regards to someone's body, I hear things like, my body is full of energy or my body is beautiful. Like, those are just some common ones I've heard. But saying I adore my body, I just feel like it's just so different. Like, this to me is just such a different affirmation. It, for me, opens up the opportunity to like heal childhood wounds and like think of the little girl inside of me and like I don't know, because when I say that I adore something, or just when I hear that word adore, I think of something, I don't know, like fragile. I think of something that just is, that means something like, I don't know, that's near and dear to your heart. Like, when I think of things that I adore or things that I feel like people adore, I think of like a little baby. Like, you just adore a little baby. They're so cute, they're so precious, they're so small, they're so fragile. I think of like puppies and kittens, and like there's just certain things that I feel like you hear when people say they adore, and then other things that you don't hear as much. And I really like this affirmation of I adore my body, because I feel like it's just so sweet. It feels like a sweet relationship to have between you and yourself and you and your body. And that saying this affirmation just makes me feel like my body is this precious thing to me. It's precious gold. It's sweet. It's beautiful. And I just love saying it to myself. Like, this one, obviously they all feel really great, but this one especially, like when I look at myself and I see my body and I say I adore it, it just makes me feel like, it makes me feel safe. Like, it makes me feel like I've created a safe space for me to just be me and for my body to just be her, and that it's okay for her to be what she is. Like, in last week's episode, I was talking about how I had a moment. I was having just like, for a second, it was a little lowest self-esteem day, a little low self-esteem moment, struggling with my words, and that I had to check it because, like, first of all, I know I deserve better, and second, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be negative about my body or negative about any change that it goes through, when change is gonna happen regardless. Like, and I also think about, like, not to go off topic, but it's like, one day, like, I want to be a mom and I want to have kids, and that's a change that I am I don't know. I just want to welcome that change because I know that your body changes after you have kids, from like close friends, close family, you know what I mean? And I just, I'm just, I'm not going to talk shit to my body. Like, I'm not going to talk down on my body for it changing when it's meant to change, especially like as a woman, like our bodies are literally meant to change. So there's no reason to feel bad about it. Like, the choice that I'm gonna consciously make is to choose to love it. So, and that is just a choice that feels better. It's a choice that keeps me more elevated and helps me to manifest more and better and positive things into my life. So, consciously choosing to like love your body is obviously much better than not. It feels a lot better than not. So, yeah, I just, going back to the I adore my body, I really like that affirmation. It feels really good. It feels like a kind thing to say about your body. It feels like a safe place, like, to love your body. And I don't know, this one is really important to me. I feel like a lot of times, like, and I don't know, like, a lot of times I just feel like the way that I've talked about my body and the way I've treated my body is almost expected. Like, we're not really, it's just not normal, right? Like, it's not normal to sit here and say nice things to yourself. And I feel like the I adore my body is healing when I say that, my relationship with my inner child. It's just something about those words that I feel like opens up this space for me to view myself as like the little girl that I am. And I feel like it sounds crazy, but it's just how I feel. Like, we all have that little version inside of us, and I think that it needs to be nurtured more times than not. I think it's important for us to go into that little version of us because that's the version of us that really like impacts our subconscious. It's a lot of what happened to us as little kids that we carry with us in our day to day, and we don't even like realize it. And so saying that I adore my body, I feel like helps me to like have that connection with my inner child and to just view myself in that way. Like, hey, I adore you. Like, in the same way that I would adore a child or embrace a child or embrace my pets or embrace a family member. It's like, you know what? I embrace you just as much. And not only the little girl that still exists within you, but also you as you are right now, in this moment, as an adult, as a person experiencing life right now in 2023. So, yeah, I love this one. This one, like the other ones, of course, feel really good. And if like the whole concept of like innerhood child wounds is new to you, or even like viewing yourself as the little you, a couple things that I guess I just want to say is that like there is still that kid inside of you. So even if you're 27 like I am, or you're 30 or you're 40, or maybe you're younger, you're 18, like, anything you experience as a child never really goes away. And that version of you still exists within you. Like, there's a kid inside of you that still wants to play. There's a kid inside of you that still wants to have fun. There's a kid inside of you that's still hurt. Whatever that was, whatever that hurt may be, those versions of us never really die. We just forget about them as we get older, as we grow up, as we have jobs, as we get into relationships. We just kind of forget about what it was like to be a kid. And it's just crazy because I just feel like so many people, including myself, there's so many things about me that I'm still learning, but we carry these like experiences from our childhood, and a lot of them may be good, but then there's those ones, right? Like, we all have one experience from childhood that was maybe traumatizing, or that really impacted our lives in a significant way. And maybe it was in a good way, maybe it was in a bad way, and maybe it was in a way that you don't even remember because it's something that you repressed. And so I know I talked about it in one of the prior episodes, but like, I had that inner childhood wound of like rejection, and that I didn't realize that I was so upset about it, and that it impacted like all of my relationships with guys, because I kind of just carried this with me where I'd be like, oh, I'm not good enough. And then there was a phase where I was really in my masculine, and I didn't know that either. It's crazy. I just started learning about masculine and feminine energies like a year ago, and I was definitely in my masculine because I was just so like guarding myself, guarding my feelings, guarding my emotions, not wanting to like open up to men. I would always say like men are intimidated of like independent women, like, and then that was the reality that I would create. I would just attract guys that I know that I made feel uncomfortable, and it just came from that inner childhood wound. So anyway, it's really important to like recognize those wounds that you have and to go back and identify like where they came from and why they're even there, and to let it go and forgive, like forgive anyone that you have to and any situation that you have to, so that you could just be happy and honestly move on with your life. And to bring it back to like the whole I adore my body affirmation, I feel like that affirmation opens up the space to do that, because it might be uncomfortable. And when you're uncomfortable, that's a great indicator of an opportunity for that growth and for that healing, because it kind of forces you to sit with those feelings. Like if you tell yourself, oh, I adore my body, and you're feeling weird about it, you're feeling off about it, it's not feeling authentic to you, then I encourage you with this and any other affirmation that makes you feel, I don't know, just weird about like saying that nice thing to yourself. Like I encourage you to sit with that feeling and discover where it's coming from and why it's there. And it might sound easy when I say it that way. And I don't know, for some of you it might be, and for others it might not. It might be really difficult, and it might be a conversation that you're not even ready to have with yourself. But I'm just going to challenge you and encourage you to sit with those feelings anyway, and to ask yourself, like, why is this uncomfortable for me to say? Like, why is it weird for me to say I adore my body? Or even last week's episode, because I feel like that one is a really powerful one, or at least that affirmation is that you embrace changes your body goes through. Because I know as women, if you're a woman listening, that's hard. That's a hard one. And I don't know if that one will necessarily be easy or natural, but it's one that we could be conscious of telling ourselves when our body does change that it's okay. But it is a hard one. And so sit with those feelings and try to discover like where they come from and why maybe certain affirmations are hard for you to say. But this is a huge deal. Like I think this is big because we see affirmations everywhere. Like people post about them all the time. But I don't know if people are really connecting with what they're telling themselves and on a deep level, right? Like you can sit there and say whatever kind of thing you want to say about yourself, but why is that important to you? And if it's making you uncomfortable, like why is saying that particular thing uncomfortable to you? And it's probably because there is some type of inner wound. It may not even be an inner childhood wound. It could be any wound you experience as an adult, because we get heartbroken as adults too. We go through hardships. We experience some traumas as adults. So they don't necessarily even have to be inner childhood wounds, but a lot of what we experience as children is what impacts and influences our subconscious. And the whole point with affirmations is to rewire your subconscious and to redo some of that thinking so you can let go of, limiting beliefs or negative beliefs that you have about yourself, and adapt the positive ones, which in turn help you stay elevated. They help you be more happy. They help you to manifest better things into your life, things that you actually want to manifest, like more self-love, or people who see your worth, or you know what I mean? And any of the positive things that you're looking for in life. So yeah, affirmations are, obviously you guys know I love them. This entire podcast is about them, and the online store is all about them. So definitely think about, what affirmations you're telling yourself, and maybe some of the feelings that it's bringing up inside of you, and if they're good or if they're maybe kind of negative ones, or if you're not sure what they are. But that's just like one of the best ways to really learn about yourself, to learn deeply about, who you are. And I'm excited. I really hope that, especially now because we're on episode 8, that you're starting to catch yourself like say these affirmations. That's the thing that I think is so fun about them, especially like when you're first starting, or when you start to say new ones, is like when you start to catch yourself in random moments throughout your day, say them to yourself. Like that's the best. Like sometimes I'll just sit here and I don't know, I'll either be talking to someone or I'll be driving somewhere, and I'll just randomly catch myself saying one of the affirmations from my list. And anytime I do is when I'm like, oh my God, I'm influencing my subconscious. Like, look at me randomly just saying like, I'm that girl, or I love my body, or whatever affirmation it is that I'm saying. So yeah, it's really exciting. And I hope that this is helpful. I hope that people listening are feeling better than ever, are feeling really in tune with themselves and feeling just happier and lighter in life, and, receiving everything that they want, because you deserve it. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care, who tries to tell you otherwise. You deserve to be happy with your life, and you deserve to be happy with who you are in the body that you're in, because it's the only body you get to ever have, and it just deserves nothing but the best. But it's up to us, right? Like, no one is gonna give us what we want. It's up to us to treat our body the way it deserves to be treated, and your body deserves it all. So I hope that, listening is, I don't know, making you feel good. I love, doing this podcast. It makes me feel really good. It keeps me accountable. But I think that's all that I have. As far as an activity for this week, I want to keep it simple. I'm not even going to create one per se. The activity could just be look at yourself in the mirror every day this week. And I'm going to do this too. And give yourself a big hug. Okay, so you'll look at yourself in the mirror, give yourself a big hug, picture the little you, and just tell yourself, I adore my body. And you can also even picture, different versions of you. It could be the version of you when you were 5, the version of you when you were 9, the version of you right now. Doesn't matter, but just give yourself a hug and tell yourself, I adore my body. And for me personally, the version of me that I want to do this for this week is the version of me when I was about 8, 9 years old, because that is when I started to notice that I was different than, my peers. That's when I noticed that I was a little bit, I was overweight. Like, I didn't look like the other girls, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But that was the age that I started to get insecure about myself. That was the age where I felt different. I felt off. I didn't feel pretty. That's when I would really start to compare myself to the other girls, and, all the mean stuff. Like, am I ugly? Do I not have a boyfriend because, I'm black? Is it because I'm fat? Like, I hope that that's not triggering. I just want to be as authentic as possible. But that's the age where I started to feel bad about my physical body. And so for me, I know that this is going to be a healing activity, because I need to go back. I need to just go all the way back into when I started to notice that, I was bigger. And then when I just started having like bad self-image issues, bad body image issues. And I want to hug that little girl inside of me at that age and tell her that I adore her. I adore her. I adore her body. I adore everything about her. There's nothing wrong with her. There will never be anything wrong with her. And she is perfect as she is in that moment. So if that resonates with you, you could do kind of a similar thing, if you're someone who's had, not the best body image issues, if you haven't felt good about the way that you look, I don't know, whatever it is, go back in time to where that began and identify why it even began, and just love that version of you. Just tell her, I love you for what you are. You're perfect. Nothing is ever going to be wrong with you. Nothing ever was wrong with you. I adore the body that you're in. It is perfect as it is. Like, go back in time and just say the most loving thing you can do. Do it every day for a week. And please let me know, like, if you're someone who's tuning in and you're doing these activities, please let me know how they're going. I just want to know, like, because I'm doing them and I'm feeling good. I'm not going to lie. And not to be biased, because I know it's like my podcast, but like, I feel really good when I do these activities, because they help me connect with myself, and they help me understand myself so much better, and it helps me just, resonate with myself. Like, I understand myself, and I get where certain, how do I say it? Like, certain traumas, I want to say, certain limiting beliefs, like, I understand where they come from. And the more that I do these activities, the more I actually sit there with myself and reflect on my life and try to figure out why I am the way that I am in certain areas of my life. Like, it's just, what I'm trying to say is it's empowering, and it feels liberating, because I can really say that I know myself, and I can sit here and say, I understand myself, I forgive myself, and most importantly, I love myself. I love myself so much. There's nothing anyone can say to me that would take the love that I have for me and the versions of me that had to experience, heartbreak, that had to experience rejection and isolation and all of that. So, not to go off tangent, but yeah, try this activity. Please reach out to me on Instagram if you do. Let me know. Tag me, tag me when you're doing these activities. I don't know. I just want to be a part of it because I care. Like, I care about people developing their self-worth, their self-love, and, just being a happy person. Like, life is too short not to be happy. So go and be happy. But yeah, guys, that's all that I have. I think that we can go ahead and wrap up with our final round of affirmations, and we will be all set for this week. So again, your activity is look at yourself in the mirror every day this week, give yourself a big ol' hug, and tell yourself that you adore yourself, you adore your body. You can even direct that towards a certain version of yourself. Like I said, I'm going to direct it towards the 8-9-year-old version of me who started noticing, different, like that her body was just different, and who started to feel like, she just wasn't good enough and all that negative stuff. So I'm going to direct it toward the 9-year-old me. So we can go ahead and get started with our affirmations. Here we go. I am in love with the person I see in the mirror. I am a masterpiece. I am grateful for all of the ways my body shows up for me each day. I appreciate the relationship I have with my body. I am in tune with what my body communicates to me. I love my body and embrace all of the changes it goes through. I adore my body. I trust my body. I take care of my body. I respect my body. My body is a temple. I would choose the body I'm in now time and time again. Alrighty, I hope you're feeling all the positive vibes. You're feeling good. I hope you guys all have an amazing weekend. Don't forget that Be Affirmation, the online store, is out. It launches on Friday. So if you're someone listening to this on Wednesday, that's in 2 days. I'm excited. I'm stoked. And again, podcast 20 will give you all 20% off your purchase. Mother's Day is around the corner. This would be such a cute Mother's Day gift, or to even give a friend, a loved one, a necklace that says I am worthy or I am limitless. Talk about positivity. Talk about encouraging other people to build their self-worth and their self-love, and to remember, who they are, in their true essence, which is someone is worthy and deserving of everything that they want in their life. So I hope all of you have an amazing weekend. I think I already said that. I think it's time for me to end the episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.